Have you ever asked yourself why is it that sometimes when employees have problems with their laptops or with their desktops in an office, they call the IT team and the IT team is not able to intervene locally, and the IT team asks them to share their desktop virtually so that they can be able to assist them from a distance. There is a protocol which does this, and this protocol is known as the Virtual Network Computing, which is abbreviated as VNC. VNC is a protocol that helps administrators, the technical support team, to remotely see the desktop of a machine and interact with it as if they were found in front of that machine or in front of that operating system. This VNC operates at port 5900. And the question now here is that what happens if an attacker is able to attack a computer using this protocol? It is a problem. It could lead to problems like malware installations virtually or from a distance. It could lead to data theft and all of that. So in this tutorial here, I am going to give you a walkthrough on how the bad guys could use this protocol to be able to log in into a system and then to begin to tap resources for their malicious activities. So in our station here, our attacker machine is the Kali Linux, which you see in front of you here. And then our victim machine here is the Metasploit table here. Before starting this tutorial, I want to make it clear here that this is meant for educational purposes here, and how you use this information after this is based on you. So before we do this, the first thing we must know is we must try to know the victim's machine or the IP address of the victim, which is our Metasploit table. And for us to do that, we do our normal if config like this, normal if config, and we hit enter. Our IP address is 192.168.40.130. We write it down and then we come back here and we start our exploit. We use our Metasploit console. This is the tool which we are going to use to exploit the Metasploit table from the comfort of our Kali Linux. Now, the Metasploit table has loaded in front of us and it has given us a series of exploits here. It has given us payloads, encoders, evasion techniques, as well as auxiliaries here. So what we are interested is in that we want to log in using the virtual network computing, which is abbreviated as VNC. So we are going to type a VNC underscore login like this. Before typing this, you have to say search because you are searching for the module. You hit enter. It gives you the auxiliary module which you have to use here, and then you say use this auxiliary, which is this one. You can just copy it like this. You copy and then you paste down here and you hit enter. Oh, sorry. You hit enter like this. Now it leads you into the module. That's why you are seeing this scanner VNC login in a red color like this. Now you ask it to show you options. You are asking this module to show you options that you can use to exploit this, the Metasploit table from Kali Linux. It tells you that the remote host or the R host is yes. Remote host here stands for the victim's IP address. And the victim's IP address in our case here is 192.168.40. So I'm going to type it down here, 192.168.40.130. Now, before doing this, you have to say set. You are setting it. And then you hit enter. Or what did I do? You say set R host. Sorry. R host. That's the mistake I made. R host to 192.168.40.130, and you hit enter. It tells you that your R host or that your remote host has been set. Now the next thing we have to set is the username. I am going to pause here and I'm going to explain something here. Now let me first of all set it. Set username. Now sometimes when we buy applications from our supplier, these applications always come with default usernames and default passwords. So you have to be smart here and you have to think like the ethical or the bad guys. Now, what do? We know that somewhere in the internet, there is a database whereby we have usernames and passwords. And most of the time, you will see usernames like admin, or you will see usernames like root or administrator. So in this exploit here, we are going to try a username like root. So if I say set username to root and I hit enter, it tells me that the module has been set, or that the username has been set to root. Now, this is how the bad guys think. They could set a username like root and it does not take them to this module, or it does not work. They use another one like administrator. They play with it to see if it's going to work. And then they just run their exploit like this, and you see what happens, or to see what happens. And you see that they have gotten information like this. You are seeing here that login successful. This here is telling us that what? We are on the way to remotely access our Metasploit table here using Kali Linux. So if I just come here like this, or if I go to another terminal, let me zoom out and I just type, but before going back there, let me go back. Let me go back here and let's access this. When you look here, you see login successful, and you are seeing that the password here, the password here is password. And since we guessed a username to be root, it means that when we go to the next terminal, we are going to log in, we are going to use a username as root, and the password, we are going to try it as password. So if I go back to that terminal, oh, sorry. If I go back to this terminal here and I type VNC Viewer, VNC Viewer 192, which is the attack, the victim's machine, and I hit enter like this, it tells me that I should put the password. The password we found in the other terminal was password, which is a bad practice. It is not good to have such passwords as passwords. It is a very short password. It is a password which is lying somewhere in a database like rocku.txt. Now, look at what has happened. It has led us into the Metasploit table here. Let me clear like this and let's analyze. Look at it. It says that we are in the Metasploit table and we have been logged into the Metasploit table. Let me see, voila. We have been logged into the Metasploit table as root. So, meaning that here in Kali Linux, we have accessed the Metasploit table here using Kali Linux. So, if I just do an ls to asking the Metasploit table to give me a list of files or of directories that are found in the Metasploit table through Kali Linux, and I hit enter like this, it tells me that there are files there like what? Files like vulnerable. There is a file name like Paul. Now, let us prove it that there is actually a file name like Paul in the Metasploit table. Remember that we are found in the Kali Linux operating system, which is the attacker machine. So if I go back here and just do ls like this, it shows me a list of files or of directories that are found in the Metasploit table. And you can see that there is a file here called Paul. Remember that when you come back here, you see that there is we have accessed that very file here called Paul and the very file here called vulnerable. Now, for further proof of concept, if you come here and create another file, let's say make directory, we are creating a file, and let us just call it banner and hit enter and do an ls, we see that a new file name called banner has been created. Now, if you go back to our attacker machine and do an ls like this, you see that here is banner, that we are able to access it from Kali Linux or from the attacker machine. Meanwhile, this file had initially been created or was initially created in the Metasploit table. So this is what permits the bad guys or the unethical hackers to be able to access resources using the virtual network computing, which operates at port 5900. Now, what is the take-home message here? As an ethical hacker, if I do all these things and I don't explain to you what you have to do so as to mitigate such an attack, then I'm not doing justice to you and to myself. The first thing you must do is that you have to make sure that you don't use passwords that are as short as the password which we had, which was called password. You have to make sure that when you buy an application, you make sure that you remove the default credentials and customize it to your own credentials. So these are the things we have to do so as to mitigate such an attack. Have a great day and thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great day.